Welcome to the first official episode of Heal from the Hurt podcast. I am your host, Tammy Simmons, and my intentions on making the podcast, if you haven't already listened to the trailer, is basically based off my own heartbreak. My last breakup was basically earth-shattering. It was a relationship that I thought that we would probably be together for the rest of our lives. In certain ways, I'm not going to lie, I felt that we may have not made it, but you're always optimistic. And the thing was, going through everything that I went through, I realized that no one should have to do that by themselves. And it was in those times where it was like in the middle of the night when I'm crying or in all those things. It was the most loneliest times of my life. And I didn't have anyone to turn to because obviously it was overnight. There was no one to call or anything like that. And from those experiences, I realized that I didn't want anyone else to go through that. So that was my intentions on making this podcast. And it was also my intentions on writing the book. There is a book that is called basically Heal from the Hurt, Life After a Breakup. And with that, once again, it was always my intentions to help others basically not have to feel that pain by themselves. Now, I understand that there are things that you're going to have to go through by yourself, but if you can at least have some encouragement or motivation along the way, it is most helpful. So that is my intentions on making this podcast and all those things. But let's get into giving you a little bit of inspiration to get you along through your day. Breakups are never easy, or even heartbreak to go through regardless. But it is something that you will get through. You will smile again. It is a process to have to go through everything. So if I can say anything looking back, it is to be patient with yourself. Every day is not going to be the best day. Some days, or even some moments in life, you may be happy, and then the next moment you're sad. And it's all normal. Sometimes we have like this unrealistic goal in our mind or just image that, okay, I'm going to get over this relationship and it's going to be easy. I'm never going to think about him or her again. And my life is just going to be as if I never met them. Because that's how it's sometimes portrayed. And even if you do get to that point, you still may have that scar because it is something that you went through. Sometimes going through relationships is like a battle. It's a constant back and forth between you and the other person. And especially if you guys are not equally yoked or you're just basically opposites that basically attract. It is a constant fight and it's draining a lot of times, especially if the other person isn't giving you the love that you deserve. And when you're out of it, you have to realize that you're not in that fight or flight type of thing anymore. And so what I'm saying is that it's all a process. Give yourself time to heal. Give yourself grace. Realize that this process is not going to happen overnight. It has been almost 5 years since my breakup. And for the longest, I was in somewhat denial or, because we've always had breakups, but a lot of times in the breakups, it was like, okay, well, we broke up, but we usually somewhat get back together. But this time it was a final and forever type of thing. And so now I have to really just readjust and unlearn and relearn. And I will get into that in another podcast, but you have to readjust and unlearn everything that you've been through, especially negative things that was said to you or you said to other people. It is a lot. And so I want you to have grace and have patience with yourself. Even if you have urges to go back, or even if you do go back, it is perfectly normal because we've all been there. This journey is your own. Do not allow other people to make you feel bad for whatever decisions that you make. That's just a segue, but I want you to be patient with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be careful how you talk to yourself, and be careful how you allow other people to talk to you about your relationship or about your decisions. Because this is a crucial time for you, especially mentally. And you have to guard your heart, your mind, your body, your soul, everything. Because after a breakup, that is when you're most vulnerable, and that is when you are under attack. So please be patient with yourself. Please be kind to yourself, and be careful of who you have around you. You can make it through this. It is going to take some time, but just be patient with yourself. You got this.